everyone! I've just arrived in Seoul and it is a little drizzly but incredible so far. So I want to make today's video to tell you about my first impressions of this incredible city. There is so much that surprised me already, so let's go, let's do it. Okay, so my first impression was, I guess, how organized this place is. The airport was an absolute fine art, super well organized, and there's a train station in the airport as well, so I was able to get a train from the airport to where I'm staying near Heaps University, which was super helpful, and it was really efficient, which is great. It seems like the train system here is so good and so efficient, which I love. I love a city with good public transport, so it looks like I can get all around the city to all the major places, at least that I've looked at going, using the train. So yes, very impressed by public transport so far. So something I've found so far is that people are pretty friendly and pretty helpful. So when we're at the train station, we're looking at the map to try to work out how to get to Heaps University, and a really nice guy was there helping my husband to read the map and to know where to go, which was a really lovely first impression. So it seems like if you're struggling here or you don't really know what you're doing, people around seem pretty nice and pretty helpful. So it's a nice start to the trip. Something I noticed straight away is that Google Maps doesn't work here for directions. So when you need to get from point A to point B, you can't rely on Google Maps. There's two local apps that they use for maps, which is Naver Maps and Kakao Maps. So just download those and then you can use that for like walking directions to places. So I've been relying on those a little bit. However, note that when you search something in English, you may not find it on the map. You may need to search it in Hangul or in Korean. So you might need to sort of Google the place, get the name in Korean, search it on maps. It can be a little bit of a process finding stuff using the maps apps. So again, just allow enough time to get places, be flexible, see it as a bit of an adventure. You might get lost, but generally I found that Kakao Maps is pretty good. But I mean, I haven't been here long, but definitely more complicated than I expected to find things on maps. Also, there's a lot of buildings where there's things on like level 2 or level 3 or 4 or basement 1 or 2, or big like shopping centers where there's stores within stores, that kind of stuff. So you might find the address that something's at and it's a block, but the block is like a department store and you need to kind of navigate within the department store to find the thing. So it can be a little bit hard, but you can also ask people for help and show people photos of things. I've noticed that people are pretty helpful. Something that I've absolutely noticed so far is there's not a lot of English around. This is completely fair enough. I've been learning a little bit of Korean, but there's not as much English here as I've found in some other Asian cities. So be prepared to learn a bit of Korean and to get Google Translate on your phone. Google Translate seems pretty good so far. There's not a lot of menus in English. There's not a lot generally around in English. So I'm using Translate a lot. So I've just downloaded it and I'm using it a lot of the time. So I'll just like take a photo of a menu and then have to sort of point at it to people to order things, stuff like that. So I'm feeling pretty foreign, but that's kind of part of the charm of coming to somewhere new and somewhere where you feel so foreign, is just like being out of your comfort zone. So get cozy with Google Translate. You'll make it through. People are nice. Yeah, be flexible, be patient, be ready to not know what you're doing. So while I'm on all the practical parts of like finding things and getting around, the other thing I've noticed is that trading hours don't really seem to be a consistent thing here. So a lot of places don't open till like 9 or 10 or 11 a.m. seem to be open pretty late. But the hours that you might find on Kakao Maps, for example, I'm noticing they're not really stuck to particularly well. Something will say it's open and it just is kind of not. And because a lot of stores are owned by like just like a local family or couple, I've seen quite a few signs around that shops are just closed because they're at a wedding or they're away for the day or taking the day off, which is great, but can make planning a little bit hard. So if you like find a place you want to go for lunch, don't get too emotionally attached to it until you're there and know it's open, because you don't know if you'll be able to eat there until you're literally eating there. I've read about this before coming here, but it's so true. The city is so safe. It feels safe. You can walk around, everyone's got their phones out. I'll go to a cafe, people leave their laptops there, wander off, come back. Like, theft feels really low. It feels super, super safe. Even when I walk around in the mornings, there's people like have had a big night. Drinking culture here seems to be a big thing. And they might just be like asleep on the side of the road with their bag and stuff, and no one seems to bother them or anything. Obviously I check they're okay, but yeah, you just like can just sort of fall asleep with your bag and it's fine. Leave your laptop around, it's fine. It feels so crazy safe. I don't think I've been in a city that feels as safe as Seoul does, which is, so I'm staying, as I touched on, near Hongik University, so it's near like the Mapugu region. Something that I noticed straight away is that people here are really, really cool. Like, I've never been surrounded by so many cool people or felt less cool in my life. Not that I'm cool by any means, but everyone's got like cool hairstyles and cool fashion and cool tattoos and piercings, and everyone just seems really like on the cutting edge of fashion and general coolness. So it's awesome. Like, it's really cool. It's very young, very trendy, at least in the area that I'm staying in. So it seems that there is a big culture of accessories here. There is things to hang off anything that you have, stuff to hang off your phone, stick off your phone, cases for your phones, for your AirPods, things to put on your bag, things to put on yourself. Like, it's this self-expression and accessories that you see literally everywhere. There's a different way to personalize anything you can imagine personalizing, which is very cool. It makes for some really cute like accessories shops and lots of things to sort of browse and buy. And linked to that, everything here is really cute, like really cute. There's little animals on everything. There's, as I touched on, things to accessorize everything with. It's entirely socially acceptable for an adult to have like a little dog hanging on their bag, or little stickers of bears, or a t-shirt with like rabbits on it, and these sorts of things. Everywhere you walk, you're like inundated by cute stuff. I love it. I love the cute thing. Everything's cute. Everything's colorful. Everything's adorable. I love it. So I've touched on this a little bit when I talked about trying to navigate the city, but this city is dense. Like, everywhere I look, there's just shops and cafes and restaurants and businesses and just things to look at and lights and just the density where everything is. Like, there's a main street, and then off it there'll be little tiny alleyways, and every single alleyway is just jam-packed with stuff to look at, and then you go off that and there's another alleyway jam-packed. I feel like I could spend literally years in Seoul, even just in this area of Mapugu, wandering around trying to explore and look at all the shops, and I would never get there. Like, there's so much, like on ground level and then up multiple levels, down multiple levels. Like, the amount of shops you can fit in a square block here is remarkable. I've been honestly surprised by the amount of cafes in this city. I love a cafe, and I feel like I've been to cities with lots of coffee culture and cafe culture, but Seoul's next level. The amount of cafes that are themed. There's like a sheep cafe and like a Harry Potter cafe and dog cafes, cat cafes, literally anything you can imagine. There's probably a cafe for it here, and every block you walk down, you're passing multiple cafes. I think it's really part of the culture to sit with your friends and have coffees. Iced Americanos seem to be the thing, which is amazing. I'm a fan. But yeah, coffee, cafes, big culture for it. I love an Asian convenience store, and I'm stoked to find out that Korea is jam-packed full of them. Every street I've walked down has at least like 4 or 5 convenience stores. There's a lot of 7-Elevens, there's Family Marts, there's CU Marts, there's E-Marts, there's so many marts. I'm probably not even thinking of so much of it, and it's a really like acceptable thing to have like convenience store lunch or convenience store dinner, which is awesome. There's a lot of ready to eat meals, microwaves, noodles, hot water, and like places to sit in a lot of them as well. Drinks are a really big culture too. They've got ice cups, which I've made some other videos about. Check out my shorts for those. But yeah, there's lots of drinks. You can mix your own. It's awesome. Oh, it stopped raining. Something I've noticed is there's a really big like taking photos culture here. There is so many photo booth shops. Like, there's storefronts where you go in and you put like hats on or little cute things on your head and take photos. They are everywhere scattered around here, and they're always busy. So people love getting photos of themselves. It seems like a real thing to do. And there's also like mirrors around a lot that you kind of get selfies in. So it's really built into the culture here. You get a lot of photos of yourself. Okay, so I touched on how massive Seoul is, but Seoul is massive. Like, so dense and so massive. From where I am over near like Hongdae, it is like a 30-minute train to Myeongdong, which is kind of in the center of the city. So I think it looks like it's like 45 minutes to an hour from like one end to the other of Seoul, and it all looks like it's populated and super busy and dense within that. So it's really big. Luckily the trains are so good. So the trains get like 30 minutes. Otherwise it'd be like a 45-minute drive. It's just so big. It's so dense. You'd need so long to explore this place thoroughly. So something else that's like practical that sort of surprised me is how you pay for things. So I've said that there's obviously Korean versions of maps like Naver and Kakao, but there's also Korean versions of pretty much most apps, including payment apps. So they've only recently started to get Apple Pay, which is really handy. But I usually try to use my Visa or MasterCard to pay for things. And it just seems really inconsistent. Some stores, my Visa card works. Some stores, my MasterCard works. Some stores, neither of them work, but Apple Pay works. So it's just like, I guess, a little bit complicated or inconsistent to pay for things. But it is really handy that everywhere seems to take card of some description. So I haven't really had to use cash for anything. I did get cash out, but I'd prefer to use card. So I have been able to use card everywhere. But something I think is really cute about Korea is how strong the couple game is. Like, PDA is completely appropriate. Couples are holding hands, they'll kiss in public. It's just so cute. The whole romance thing seems to be really encouraged and kind of cool. There's flower shops everywhere. There's a lot of things advertised towards couples. The couple game in Korea is like nothing else I've seen before. Like, absolute couple goals. It's absolutely adorable. I love it. I love it. And here's like a nice random one, and I'm curious about your perspectives if you've been to Korea. But I just don't get what the deal is with the bins. So I've seen maybe a handful of bins scattered around all the places I've walked, but it seems like you can just kind of find piles of random rubbish that collect on the sides of the streets, and then people just contribute to the piles of rubbish, and you just put like your rubbish with the rest of the pile, and it just kind of grows, and then it disappears the next day. So I never know if I'm allowed to contribute to these random rubbish piles or if I'm doing the wrong thing. I honestly don't get it. So please let me know what the deal is with the random rubbish piles that collect in Seoul. I'd love your help. It's so pretty random, and I don't exactly know why, but there is so many cinemas in this city. I've never seen so many cinemas. It's massive. I don't know if it's because it's often really hot or really cold or really rainy, or if it's just that people like media, or if it's the couple culture is so strong. Let me know if you know why, but man, if you want to watch a movie, this is the city for it. This city also just feels like it's on the forefront of stuff. It's kind of like when you go to New York and you just know that you're surrounded by stuff that's going to be cool in Australia in like 5 years time. It's like that here. Like, there's just really cool, weird desserts or like places that are really, really popular and really brand new in Australia at the moment are here, and like they've been here and so established for so long. So it's really cool to see the new trends, especially around desserts. Dessert culture is strong. There's so much to try and so much to just like soak in. So drinking culture here is really strong by the looks of things. There is so many places that sell alcohol, but they all seem to be like food places. So I think you kind of eat and drink at the same time by the feel of things, rather than just like bars. I don't quite understand, but there's a lot of like Korean barbecue or like chicken places that are like 24 hours because they all sell beer, and I've seen people walking out of them very early when I've been on my way to work. So yes, drink culture is strong. Chicken and beer, soju, Korean barbecue, the whole eating, drinking thing seems really, really tied here. I'm not sure if this is just around where I'm staying near like Matagu, sort of Hongdae area, but there are so many clothes shops. The obsession with fashion, or the interest in fashion, you can feel it. There's just streets and streets and everything is just lined with these really cool clothes shops. So it's really interesting, like the alternative fashion here is like kind of mainstream. You can get a lot of really interesting stuff, so easily accessible. The beauty industry is massive here. There is so many places that you can get so much done, from, you know, eyelashes, getting your nails done, hairdressers, cosmetic surgery places. I actually got my eyebrows microbladed. It seemed like the place to do it, but it's a huge industry here. I'm so surprised. Like, I think you do hear in media that the South Korean sort of cosmetic surgery and beauty industry is big, but yeah, there's so many places and so many choices here. Okay, I hope that you've enjoyed my first impressions, my ramblings of my time so far in Seoul. Let me know if you agree with any of this or if you disagree with any of this. I haven't been here long, so I'm super keen to learn. Have I missed anything? What were your thoughts of Seoul? I'd love to hear it. And let me know what I should do while I'm here. I'm here for about a month, so lots of time to explore all around Seoul, and maybe even do some trips outside of Seoul as well. But yeah, if you liked the video, if you could like it below, that would be amazing. And if you could subscribe to my channel, that would be so cool. That means so much to me and helps me to keep creating content. Otherwise, I'll see you on my next video. Bye.